I call this meeting to order at 6:00 p.m. Okay. All right. I'd like to be able to call this meeting to order at 6:00 p.m. Verification of public notice. Meeting has been publicly noticed. Verification of a quorum. We have all 7 board members in attendance. Approval of the agenda. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. We have a second?
second.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Bacon. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor with raise hand and or aye.
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 All right, I got Stacy, aye. Lorinda, okay, all right. Motion carries unanimously 7-0. And now our mission statement, together with our families and community, we will inspire students to be passionate learners, creative thinkers, and innovative leaders who enrich our world. All right, tonight, also, just a quick reminder, public comments. If you have a comment, public, if you have a comment, please go into the chat and your name and address into the chat, and what your comment is, so that way we can have that public comment. Public comments are 3 minutes long, right? And remember, it is a comment, not a question, right? And so Dr. Brown will be monitoring the chat for that, okay? So now let's go on to our district communications. All right, Dr. Brown.
Good evening, board members and community. Just a few updates regarding the district administrative report and some of the activities we have been working on in our wonderful school district. So very shortly, we will engage in our strategic planning process. We have our teams have been established, and our first pre-meeting will be held virtually with our facilitator, Dr. Ted Knighton from CSA 6, will take place on November 29th at 5:30. In addition to strategic planning, please remember tomorrow is a half day for our students. Brown Deer Elementary School, Middle High School will be released at 11:20, and Brown Deer Elementary School students will be released at 12:05. So please remember tomorrow is a half day for our students as we transition into our holidays weekend. Tonight we have the National Honor Society celebration is taking place even as we speak over in the MAC. At the high school, we are recognizing 9 students who will be inducted into the National Honor Society this evening. We have our industry advisory breakfast coming up on this Friday, December 2nd at 7:30 a.m. So if you are able to join us to recognize our students who are working in the skilled trades area, please join us. In addition, when we return from our Thanksgiving break, we are going to hold 2 safety meetings for our parents and community at the middle high school on December 1st from 5:30 to 6:30. And then at the elementary school on December 8th, also from 5:30 to 6:30. This is an opportunity for us to apprise our parents and families of what we have been working on and implementing regarding safety. And that is in person only. So there will not be a virtual option for that. So please join us in person. In addition, I want to share with our families and community in the event that we close our building because of a snow day. Our first 2 snow days will be exactly that. They will be snow days without a virtual experience necessary for our students. And then finally, we also have a bullying training coming up through Ellen Simmons, who is our parent engagement liaison, will take place for our parents on Saturday, December 17th at 1 p.m. So just a few updates regarding what is transpiring in the district. And let me add one last piece. We are still in the process of hiring our director of teaching and learning. So that process we are looking to bring to a close and bring a name to the board at our special board meeting in December. And so I could go on and on and on, but that's just a few updates of what we have been working on here in the district. And if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Board members, questions? Thank you very much, Dr. Brown.
You're welcome.
All right, now to the district showcase.
Yes. Yes. Oh, so tonight, we are recognizing, one of our amazing students, who's a sophomore, whose mom is a teacher in the district, so I'll just add that piece as well. Then we're also recognizing, two of our staff members, in the middle school. So first, let me begin with John Northern. John is on with us tonight. He and his mom. John is a current sophomore here in the school district of Brown Deer. He was awarded a music scholarship for music lessons for the second year in a row.
Congrats.
Yes.
Thank you.
John was awarded the scholarship his freshman year. The scholarship provides private lessons with a professional musician or a music educator to selected music students who are new to private study and live in one of the 5 counties, either Milwaukee, Waukesha, Washington, Ozaukee, or Racine County, in our greater Milwaukee area. In order to be considered, an individual must apply, obtain a teacher's recommendation, and submit a musical piece. Only a select number of students are selected for this scholarship. It not only provides John with the opportunity to continue to engage in saxophone lessons, but also to gain a performing experience by participating in a recital performance at the end of the year. So John, we want you to know we are very proud of your accomplishments. Mom, I see you smiling on the side over there. I see you. And we'd like to open this opportunity up for John to say a few words regarding your experience. So John, we'll turn it over to you.
I really enjoyed this year. I think it's been a great experience. I had a lot of fun. Everybody was super nice, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It's hard to hear you guys now.
Hold on one second. Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, awesome. Is there anything you'd like to add, Ms. Buford?
No, I'm just, super proud of him. I must say that the lessons have improved his with his saxophone. His band teacher tells me all the time, like, he's really improving. So, it's just been awesome what Brown Deer is doing for the students, doing for my son. Overall, it has been a really great experience, and hopefully he can utilize these skills and, put them towards something to do in the future, at least have a backup plan. That's our goal, to have a backup plan.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your support. And John, we wish you continued success as you go out and be the next Dizzy Gillespie out there. No, he played the trumpet. What do you have? Oh,
Bird.
Kenny G.
Yeah.
Kenny G.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Wait a minute, hold up, John. Alto or tenor?
Alto.
Alto? All right. Alto?
But he says he's the next Denzel. He does a lot of the theater programs. So
Okay.
Okay. What saxophone though? You doing the alto?
Alto.
Alto? All right, yeah. All right, cool. That's what I learned. Alto sax.
Thank you, John. We're super proud of you. We continue to keep up the good work, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Next, we have 2 teachers. We have some staff recognition for this evening. I would like to recognize 2 of our middle school staff members who've shown a tremendous amount of initiative and drive this school year. Samantha Stoker and Chris House. Samantha is our middle school STEM teacher and Chris is our middle school art teacher. Hi, I see you waving, Samantha. Samantha and Chris stepped up to lead our new middle school after-school program. The after-school program is called Falcon After School Achievers, which began in October. So Falcon After School Achievers meets twice a week after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays until 4:35 p.m. It is open to any middle school student who would like to attend and is given the opportunity, students are given the opportunity to receive academic support as well as enrichment opportunities in art and STEM, which could be entitled STEAM if we put the A in STEM. Samantha and Chris, you continue to do amazing work for Brown Deer Middle School. We salute you and appreciate everything that you do for our students, and we are proud to recognize both of you this evening. Thank you for joining us this evening, and if you would like to say a few words, please feel free to do so. We can start with Either one. Chris, I see you unmuted first. Why don't you go first?
All right, I'll go first. I'll keep it short. I just wanted to say thank you for the recognition. You know, Sam and I have worked really hard so far this school year to get things kicked off with our kids and making sure that they have the opportunity to work with teachers outside of their regular classroom setting so that they have their best opportunities to really shine, get their academics taken care of, and also have some extra fun activities, things like art and STEM activities after school as well. So thank you.
Mr. House.
I'll just add, it's my first year here, so it's nice to be here. And we had almost 60 kids last week, so there's definitely a need for it. So I'm glad that we're fulfilling that need.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Beadle, that ends the district showcase for this evening.
All right, thank you very much. Excellent things going on in the district with our students as well as our great teaching staff. All right, next item is item 3, our public comments. Again, one more time for the public, if you have a comment, please go into the chat and your name and your address, and then we'll be able to have your comment. Again, remember, it's a comment, not a question, and 3 minutes. So do we have anyone so far, Dr. Brown? And Dr. Brown is monitoring the chat.
We do not have anyone yet.
All right. As customary, I'll give it one more minute just to see. Some people, it takes a moment to go ahead and start to type some stuff. So give you a quick second. Hope everybody has some great plans for Thanksgiving. Yeah, there it is. Hey, that's that time, it's the time of year where you eat too much, drink too much, laugh too much. So, you know, good times. All right, anyone?
No one in the chat.
Give it another 30 seconds. All right, okay, let's go on now to our consent agenda. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Dr. Beadle.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including the minutes of the October 11th, 2022 special board meeting, the October 25th, 2022 regular board meeting, the schedule of voucher payments via check, ACH and wire transfers in the amount of $1,213,065.45 in the general checking account and the food service account, including funds 10, 21, 27, 39, 46, 50, and 80, and the November 22nd, 2022 school safety drill update as presented tonight.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. A motion has been made. I have a second?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Macon made a second. Any conversation or discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor with raised hand and or aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously, 7-0. Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. All right, let's go on to our item 5. Items for discussion, consideration, and possible board action. Approval of new hires, Mr. Clemming.
We have no new hires this evening.
All right. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
We have still a couple openings, but yeah, it's steady, which is good. We have
All right.
continuity this year.
All right, I'd rather have this one, this next one, the resignation, I'd rather have none there. Do we have any resignations?
We do, but this is a housekeeping error on my part. This was someone we should have brought back in September that had resigned right before the school year started. We've already hired the replacement, so it's just the formality of having the board approve the resignation.
Okay. I'll be back on
That
that.
is Carrie Wagner.
All right, would someone like to make a motion to approve resignation of Carrie Wagner to go back to August?
Yes, Dr. Beadle, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resignation of Carrie Wagner as a middle school special education teacher effective August 31st, 2022.
Thank you very much, Ms. Peterson. Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
second.
Thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor with raised hand and or aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously for the resignation of Ms. Wagner. All right, let's go on to our item number C, the BDA collective bargaining agreement. Mr. Clement.
Yes, we are able to discuss this evening because a little while ago, the negotiating committee of Dr. Beadle and Ms. Peterson met with the BDA and we have a tentative agreement. So that is good news. So very briefly, I'll just, and it's very similar to what I presented to the board previously, but we did go back and forth a little bit. The quick version of this again is that we look at the pool of teachers at a particular moment in time, which was January 1st of last year, and see what the wages are. And then the board, we obviously, we've talked about 4.7% as a CPI that the state has set as the maximum CPI that's bargainable. But the uncertainty of the budget and things like that, our board and our district decided to go at 3.5% as our proposal, and that's what we went with when we initially presented to them in May, and that carried through the entire summer. Nothing changed from our standpoint from a financial, our financial picture didn't change significantly that allowed us to do anything different, so we committed to the 3.5%. So the 3.5% with the base wages means that we have to distribute $264,117 amongst the teachers. And then that shifts depending on how many teachers are returning to the district, because this is only teachers that were here with us last year. So there are 4 phases that we're going to be bringing the money to them and distributing it. Basically, all teachers that were employed in the district last year and successfully completed educator effectiveness will move 1 step on our salary schedule. If the teacher was hired after the start of second semester, which was January 24th, 2022, they would move a half step. That's our standard process with the timing of that. So that's 1 step. That part of the increase equals $112,000. And then we're going to again increase the salary schedule, and this is across the board by $1,000 for each cell. So our starting salary from this phase will be $42,000 and move all the way up. So all teachers will recognize the $1,000 increase. We're then making a slight tweak to the schedule because we have additional money so that's $100,000 by the way, because we had 100 returning teachers. Then we have a third phase where we're going to increase the schedule by an additional $500 for our returning teachers. So that'll get distributed to them again, which is another $50,000. And then finally, a very small percentage of our staff at the higher end of the scale, we're not quite hitting 3.5% as an increase, and in an effort to be consistent across the board, because we have provided that increase to all of our support staff, administrators, custodians, and now all the teachers will receive at least 3.5%. We did provide these relatively small sums of money that vary from $20 to $460. That'll be provided to the teachers as an addendum to their contract, part of their base wage going forward. That'll be included for them going forward. So those are the 4 phases. And when you do all of that, we actually end up contributing $267,000 to base wage increases this year. So we did have that conversation. Like I said, the BDA negotiating committee has approved it. And so we will, with board's approval tonight, then we'll approve our side. We will await word from the BDA that they'll do an online vote with their membership over the next week or so. And then we'll get the results, and assuming they also ratify it, and we'll have an agreement, and we'll look to implement it on as part of payroll for December 15th. So then for the motion, because legally we are only allowed to bargain for the base wage, the base wage increase, and this extra money is supplemental. There are 2 motions in front of you. So the first one basically covers the first in the memo that you have in front of you, the negotiated base wage increase, steps 1, 2, and 3, which is basically under envelope 5, A, B, and C. That's the first motion. And then the second motion would be the extra supplemental pay. That's just a separate piece. That is the part B on the last page. Are there any questions before a vote?
I will say before we do go off into the vote that, I'd like to thank everybody that was part of that team and the teachers union and being able to do this. It's definitely a process and something that, Kevin and I, we had talked about before, trying to make sure we try to get started a little bit earlier so that we don't run up against the deadline like we are this year. But again, it was a good process. I think it went relatively smoothly in our negotiations, and we are just happy to be able to have gotten this together and come up with a plan that's equitable to both the teachers as well as the district and being able from a financial standpoint. So I think that we're in a really good place, and we definitely wanted to let our teachers know that we respect, and we honor, and we cherish the work that they do, and we like to be able to do the best that we possibly can from that financial standpoint, and being able to do that and showing that support. So excellent job, Kevin. So with that being said, would someone like to make a motion?
I will make a motion, Dr. Beadle, to approve the 2022-23 Brown Deer Education Association Collective Bargaining Agreement of base wages as presented.
Thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Dr. Vito, I'll second.
Thank you very much, Ms. Peterson. Motion has been made and seconded. Any other discussion?
I just have a point of clarity question. Kevin, what is the amount you said? Did you say 267?
267,000 is the total cost, yes.
Okay, so then what is the amount that was in your report, the 262?
The 262 is the 262.5 is the total amount of the first part of those first three phases, and then we end up being about $1,800 short. That we combine it with an extra $3,000 to do this fourth step to get everybody to 3.5. So that's all considered supplemental pay in that case.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. All in favor, raise hand and or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 720. I'm so glad we got this thing done. Whew. All right. One more thing off our plate. All right.
And then the supplemental.
Then we need the supplemental. And could you make a motion for the supplemental?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2022-23 supplemental teacher pay as presented.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Motion made. Have a second.
Second.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Macon. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor with raise hand and or aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 720. All right, let's go on to our item D, discussion of the 2023 WASB State School Convention Delegate. All right, so now we do, who's our delegate? All right, so we always, for every year when we have the WASB, we have to have a representative from the District of Brown Deer to be able to represent us at this. And I am so glad that Ms. Ashley is our representative to be able to do the WASB for this year. Thank you so much.
Second year in a row.
Again, for this year and previous year. So now we have that experience. Good job, good job. And being able to do that. And you know, we all, even though we're a smaller district or whatever, our voice carries just as loud as anyone else's. So with that being said, the state conference this year is January. What are the dates for that, Mr. Frost? Is it January 15th?
19. Right.
January
18 through the 20th.
18th.
All right, January 18th through the 20th.
Conference is on the 17th. They already have. Well, we always start on the 18th.
Right. Ms. Ross, have we, as everyone, have all board members been signed up, or were the ones that actually can go, been signed up?
Yeah, there are two who haven't come in.
Okay, just let me know who the two are, and then I'll have a conversation just to see if they are able to do it and stuff. We do understand that this is during work time, because the meetings do start in the morning at like 8 o'clock and go from like 8 to 4:30. So, you know, some people may not be able to get off, may not be able to get off work or whatever. We do understand that, because, you know, your professional lives come first, and being able to do that. But if you can, have that opportunity to, even if you can't stay for the whole day, if you can just come for some of the sessions. What we generally do is we kind of divide and conquer, because there's so many wonderful presentations that go on, that we try to make sure that at least everybody tries to go to one and be able to bring that information back. Because like I said before, it's so much wonderful information that comes through these sessions. And you got to remember, this is, people are coming from all across the state for this. So yeah, so they definitely have wonderful guest speakers and presenters being able to do that. All right. Did you have anything else that you'd like to add to that, Dr. Brown?
No, other than on that Wednesday, we typically do lunch together as board and district administration. And so we'll figure out what that looks like for us moving forward, or prior to that Wednesday. I'll let you know where we're going.
Right. And then we'll also always try to, when we have the big general session, we usually always are all the way to the right. So we'll see if we can keep that going. All right. Let's go on to item number E now, approval of the Halo sensory installation agreement. Dr. Brown, would that be Dr. Brown or would that be Ms. Turner?
This was a team approach. I will start off by sharing with you, this was a work in progress prior to the beginning of the school year starting. Ms. Smyska and Ms. Turner were in the initial conversation with looking at installing Halo sensors in our, in this case, in our bathrooms, in our school district. And we have, just like every other school district around here, are seeing instances where students are trying to vape in our bathrooms. And if they're not vaping in the bathrooms, we are seeing an uptick in the paraphernalia being in our buildings. You should know that I and administrators in the buildings are continuing to have conversations with students and parents when these instances arise. It's not pervasive in our school district. It, however, is happening. And so while this work was in progress prior to the beginning of the school year, I am pleased to acknowledge Ms. Turner and Mr. Clement, who have picked up this work in the realm of safety and security in our district and moved it forward to begin to have these Halo sensors installed in our bathrooms. You can see the price point here for the Halo sensors at $36,336.45. That is a 5-year cost for the Halo sensors. And so when you deconstruct that over 5 years, over a 5-year period, we would be paying $7,267.29, leading up to the $36,336.45 dollar amount. We believe these sensors in the bathroom, in addition to the vaping, it also helps us understand any unusual sounds that may be happening in bathrooms. If you remember last year, we had a lot of the TikTok challenges in our bathrooms where paper towel holders were being destroyed and doors were being destroyed. Fights were happening in bathrooms. And so this also alarms our administrators in the buildings where if there's a belief that something is happening in those bathrooms, that we can be responsive to it right away. That's one area in schools where we know we can't always have somebody because there's a privacy piece connected to that. We have reached out to many other districts who are installing these sensors as well, because we're seeing students being able to have access, unfortunately, to this kind of paraphernalia and our steps debate as well. So we present this to you today. This would be one more notch in our belts, if you will, as it relates to safety and security here in the school district around here. And so I wanted to bring this forth to you today so that Ms. Turner can continue her conversations with the individuals from this particular company. We can get this underway. So Kara is on the line with us today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And also Mr. Clement has been part of this discussion as well.
Board members, questions? Ms. Smith?
I have a couple, but just you're saying it's not pervasive. I was like, what does that exactly mean? What is our how prevalent is this? Are we able to look at last year's data? Do we disaggregate it with paraphernalia? and then also people that were caught actively vaping, and then the marijuana, I don't know if that's vaped or whatever. What's our data? I want to know that if we get this, a year goes by, yay, we got it, and we lowered our instances of it. So I'd like some. Yeah, so
We can go back and look at the data from last year. What I can share with you this year is the number of meetings that I'm having with families and kids might be, I don't know, one or two children a month.
Okay, so that's,
Yeah.
so is the consequence just a meeting?
It depends on what else comes along with, like, this is just one part of the conversation. There could be some other pieces or variables in the incident that warrants what the consequence might be. So some,
It's an actual incident, and then you take that extra step and then.
oh, absolutely. Parents and students, we set up a meeting for them to come over to the district and have a conversation with them.
Okay.
Sometimes it is a pre-expulsion hearing. So that's the conversation that I have, and then we determine next steps for the.
And then I do want to divide and I don't know if the marijuana is vaped or whatever, but the difference between the illegal substance, it's all illegal, but I mean, I'm wondering if the police are involved when it is for both, so because it's illegal because they're under 18.
Yes.
Okay, so I'd just like to see the data, see how our data, so that if we do put this through, we can say, okay, this was a good thing that we did. And then in here, you said cameras, are you gonna link, it says potentially link it to the camera system. So if you link it to the camera system, and is it saying that that camera is existing outside of the bathrooms already?
That's right, Stacy. So it would go it would point at the doors. So and then what happens is then when the sensor goes off, it will send a marker to the camera system, which allows for easier investigation of the incident. So rather than administrators having to reel through, hours of tape to see who's coming out, it sets a kind of like a marker in the camera system so that we can correlate the two.
Okay.
So, and I would just say, Dr. Brown, in support of what you had said earlier, I think initially the sensors were purchased because of the TikTok challenges, because of the destruction. So, and then it was also then, this is another bonus to that in terms of the vaping and so on. But initially when Jody started to investigate, it was just because of the $1,000 of damage that was.
I think she froze. All right.
I'll finish your sentence by saying her.
Okay,
All right.
sorry.
There she goes.
You're good.
Thank you.
All right.
Go for it,
Okay,
Kevin.
I
It's
think
okay. You can.
Ms. Macon was first, and then Ms. Walker.
Well, my question was, no, I'm 62 next week. Okay, anyway, my question had to do with the vaping. Oh, has there been communication out to the parents to advise them that these are issues that,
The steps that you take.
right, and the steps that are, being taken to, to address it? Because if parents don't know that their kids are vaping, I remember smoking when I was a kid. So, and my mother did not know. So,
We can get something out. That's not a problem. And this will also be part of when we have the safety meetings on the 1st and the 8th, another avenue to communicate the information to our parents and families. This is the direction we're moving in our district. So we certainly can communicate that. It's not a problem.
yeah, and probably sooner than later.
I just had a question on how it actually works. Besides the sensor marking where the camera and someone entering, is it something that's in live? Like if there's a beep somewhere, someone gets a beep, someone can go in there? How exactly does it work?
You want to speak to that, Karen? Oh, she can't. Oh,
Sure, absolutely.
Want to turn your
Yeah, so
Karen,
it
why
is-
don't you turn your camera off and see if that helps?
Oh, we got to keep the smile. Come on.
yeah, that's okay. Well, there's another smile for you. Okay. So,
Another smile.
yeah.
There you go.
There you are. So, so what happens is, so say I'm going to go into to the bathroom, I go into a stall and I vape. And then what happens is the sensor picks up the vapor, and it will then send a message alert to so that it's held in the cloud. The system's held in the cloud, and then the administrators have an app then that it will send them a notification and a message, and then they can and the identification of the location, and then they could then walkie the SEL team or anybody, you know, like downstairs, like the message Matt would then go into the bathroom and identify the student. If they sense a vapor, you know, if they get the alert, and by the time they get there, that it's not, the student's no longer in the room, what they can do then is then they can tie it to the camera to see what student enters in when the sensor goes off, and then, you know, and then, you know, proceed with questioning that way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, and it does
Exactly
the
what I was
same
looking
for the,
for.
yep, and it does the same for noise alerts, like, so if there's, you know, a little party going on, or a, you know, malfeasance, you know, like, you know, like kind of like vandalism, and then, but also, yeah, just those kinds of things, or a fight, yeah. And then again, the system does, this is a little interesting, so this is what I learned in writing the document, is that it'll recognize keywords, you know, that, and then it will also pick up decibel levels. So it could be gunshots, it could be shouting, and then also keywords, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Speedster, did you have a question?
I did. I was just listening to everything, and so tonight we are wanting to potentially approve the 36,000, or the first part of the request, and the 11,000 or 12,000 for the second part of the request associated with the camera.
So the $11,976.29, Kara can take care of that out of her technology budget, and we're, as far as bringing items to the board, we're required to bring items to the board that are 25,000 or more.
Right,
And so tonight, we're asking for approval for the 36,000 with a 5-year agreement with this company.
And then I noticed that the last sentence of the paragraph talks about our options for the funding and where the funds could be coming from. And so, Kevin, this may be a question for you. Can we utilize the funds that we had planned to use for the program over at the church that has since been canceled?
Some of that is available. I mean, we knew that was coming though, so I did cut that back a
Oh,
little
you
bit.
already.
Not completely, but
Okay.
there is some, I mean, we have some savings occurring because again, we just hired a groundskeeper that will be starting in a couple weeks, so we're still short a staff member. We have a few staff shortages
Right.
in the buildings and grounds department we're still working through. And there's some other things. I do have a couple other ideas too that I'm not really worried about doing it. I think it's an important enough investment. You know, safety has been top of mind for us this year, and
Yeah.
security, and I think it makes sense to do this now, and I have a lot of confidence that we'll be able to get it. My worst case scenario would be that we would just lessen the transfer to Fund 46, because that would have been something we would have probably pulled out of there to do it. So, but I don't anticipate that'll be the need. I think we'll have a few dollars.
Okay, great. I just thought about those dollars there
Yep.
with the cancellation of that program. So, okay, all right, great.
All right, yes, Ms. Ashley.
So we said that the $36,000 is gonna be spread out over the 5-year period of time, or do?
No, it's a lump.
It's got to be long term.
It's 5 years.
It's gonna carry it.
So we'll pay it this year, and then we won't have any payments for the next 4 or 5.
And then my second question has to deal with, is it just the high school, or is it the high school, the middle school?
Middle school and high school.
Okay.
Yeah, first sentence.
Suggestion, a request, on those safety meetings that you're having with the parents. Is it possible that you could add that onto the agenda just to kind of explain? Okay.
Everything that we've done this year regarding safety will be part of a write-up with the title and the topic, and then helping our parents and families understand what exactly it is designed to do.
I'm sorry.
All right, I guess I only have I have one question, and it's in relationship to if the student is caught vaping or smoking or whatever, aren't those like municipal tickets? They get tickets for the vaping and for smoking. Or do we know how much those tickets are? This because I would also say in that communication, I'd also put that in there to let parents know that if your child is caught vaping or if it's the one with the THC in it, well, that's a whole different story. But if they are caught that, this is how much it's gonna cost you in municipal fines in relationship to that. And if it is like the THC one, that's a whole different ball game when it comes to that. So I would like, if we could in that communicate, let the parents know that, they also can turn into municipal citations or fines and, for like regular tobacco, it might be this dollar amount for this. It could be that, these are the other things that could happen. So it's not only potentially being suspension, expulsion, but also record and financial consequences to this. So that's just one of those other things and stuff. So I would like, Dr. Brown, if you could, that we could do that. But check with our school resource officer and find out what those costs may be and stuff, and maybe add that into the communique out to the parents.
And probably a structure, just a structure. This happens, this happens, this happens.
All right. Okay. All right. Any other questions before we take this out to vote? All right. All right. Would someone like to make a motion?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Halo sensor installation and the 5-year license agreement as presented.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Macon. A motion has been made. Do we have a second? Thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Motion made and seconded. Any other further discussion?
I do have a question, just point of clarity. Is this the only type of technology out there that does this type of work?
We actually demoed a different one, right, Kara?
Yeah, we did. And there's a Verkada system, and Verkada is also a cloud-based camera system. The reason why we went with this one, Dorinthia, is because we wanted to, this one ties to Halo, would tie to our existing camera system, which is ExactVision. Verkada is a different system, different camera system. So we were just thinking like part of that weighing the balance was because they would have to use an independent, like they'd have to go to a whole different system to, it's just one more thing for them to learn and to navigate, whereas this one is kind of has an integration piece. And we don't ever see ourselves moving. Verkada is the Cadillac of camera systems, but we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And but we're kind of using the Ford Taurus version, which works. So there's nothing wrong with Ford Taurus, right? If they even make them anymore. But yeah, so maybe the Chevy Malibu. But I think that but there's nothing wrong with it. But this one integrates a little bit more seamlessly. And it's one less thing for our end users to have to navigate. So that was our logic, but the pricing did end up to be equivalent. So, and both are fabulous.
And they're both GMC, so we're all right.
They're both GMCs, that's right.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor with raised hand and/or aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 7-0. All right, so now we have a Halo.
You already had one, Dr. Beadle. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so
All right.
much. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
everyone. I'm gonna log off, but you all have a fabulous
Christmas coming
Thanksgiving.
early.
All right.
All right.
Dr. Beadle, I just want to say thank you to the team, Kevin and Kara, for picking up where we left off, and thank you board for approving this on this evening.
Always want to be safe. That was one of our major priorities this year was being able to do that and stuff. So we
We
definitely
appreciate
doing it.
that your team is doing to move forward with providing safety, not only to our students and our scholars, but also to our staff and yourselves for that matter. So I think we appreciate you guys as well.
All right. Thank you. All right, let's go on to our board reports, our SWSA. Ms. Walker.
We did have a meeting last week, which I attended. It was a very extensive recap of what happened in the election, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Dr. Brown can appreciate what's asking this. One interesting fact I thought is 79% of all referendums passed in the state. So I thought that was really well. And I mean, the same things that we find here, I think we're always talked about, which were staff shortages and the imminent fiscal cliff, which were the top two things that they're trying to ward off. And there's a long list of things that the SWSA has put together for to ask for funds, right, or to help with your district, right? So it was a very extensive recap of that. And the next meeting is December 12th.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Walker. All right, our WASB update, Ms. Ashley.
So information that's, I think, worth mentioning in this forum is the fact that the state fiscal condition is in the best position ever. And that there is a $6.6 billion surplus. And we'll be ending with that on June 30th. Another point worth mentioning is the fact that WASB will be hosting an online workshop on running effective board meetings on Tuesday, December 13th at noon. So this is designed to provide information to the board president, board members, in terms of what your roles and responsibilities are as board members. So I want to throw that information out. If you want to get details in terms of links, you can go to the WASB online portal to kind of sign in and the link so that you can join that meeting. And then finally, there will be a school security webinar on December 7th, speaking of security. So it's obviously a big thing across districts. Everybody's grappling with the issue of security. This might be one of those webinars if anybody is interested in knowing what other districts are doing. This might be the place that you might want to join in. It's actually on the 7th at noon. And then finally, the main speakers for the conference in January are out. If you want to go to the WASB portal to find out who those beautiful speakers are, certainly feel free to jump on their website. I think I saw that they are featuring, a number of speakers just to kind of get us hyped for the conference in January. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. Does everyone, the board members, does everybody get the WASB monthly update?
You should.
Everybody should get it. Okay. All right. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that everybody gets it and stuff because that other information that Ms. Ashley is talking about is actually there as well too, for you to be able to do it. All right. Ed Foundation report. Ms. Robinson.
Yes. The fall appeal was trickling along at last check. So there have been a few donations with that. We also received 3 new board members for the foundation. One of which is a former student of the district. So Dr. Brown, what year was he a part of the district? Or did he graduate?
He graduated in 2016 or 17.
Who was it?
Mr. Jalen Greenlee.
Jalen? Oh, okay. He graduated in 17.
17. I thought he was a year older than my daughter.
Yeah, he did 17. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's coming on board now. So it's great to see our students wanting to still be a part of the district and giving back in some way after they've graduated. And that's pretty much where we are right now, still gearing up for the efforts for this year with raising funds for our various scholarships and discussing ways that we could do that. So there will be more information to come.
Thank you very much, Ms. Robinson. And let's go on to our Parks and Rec, Ms. Macon.
Hey, that was my first meeting, with the Parks and Rec. That was on Tuesday, November the 1st. The next meeting is gonna be on January 3rd, which is also a Tuesday. There had not been any representation, this year, so, I was asked to participate. I kind of felt like I was in the hot seat. However, basically what we did was we went through policies and procedures and they were kind of wordsmithing the document. So that's pretty much what they did on that day, or what was done on that day. However, since that last meeting, there was a letter that came out that asked me to sign it, to make a commitment to being there at every meeting. And I thought that was a little odd for a committee. I did sign it, I forgot to bring it, but I just thought that that was a little weird to now have some type of written document to say that that I must be at those meetings.
I could shed a little light. I'm on a committee for the village as well, and that Tyler implemented a new, for everybody on any committee, you have to sign this saying that you won't miss 3 consecutive meetings in a row. And if you do, then you will be asked to leave the committee. That's what it's saying, because they have too many people who are absent from meetings.
That came from Tyler Burkhart.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So anybody on a committee for the village had to sign that.
I just thought it was, I mean, I understand. I just thought it was, you don't know why people miss. Yeah, I don't know. But I just thought the timing for me coming onto the committee.
It's like that though, because there's some committees where people sign up to get their name on the list and then they never participate. So.
All right, well, you know what? We're not gonna worry about that. We all good. So we'll keep moving. Thank you very much, Ms. Macon. All right, we'll go on to our item number 7, our board planning calendar. 23rd is the early release. 24th, 24th, 25th, Thanksgiving holiday, no school, December 2nd, the industry advisory breakfast. If you can come, board members, please come and see this, and you guys will love that tech ed program. How many, raise your hand if you've seen the tech ed program at the high school.
Went to the program.
Hmm?
And saw, I went
Okay.
to the program and saw all of the wonderful. Work the teachers are doing.
Referendum money well spent.
Yeah.
I will say that, and all
Truly blown away.
right, and if you haven't had the opportunity, please come check it out and be a part of that, to go see it, or let the principal know that you may want to come in for a tour to be able to see the tech ed program in action. And like I said before, you will be blown away, definitely. December 6th, our special board meeting in ASC. December 9th, our professional learning day. December 13th, regular board meeting. December 19th, strategic planning meeting at Concordia University, Mequon. And we have our 2 representatives that will be going to that. Lisa and Stacy. Okay, all right. So Stacy and Dorothea. Okay, then we have our joint meeting with the village board, December 21st. Then school is out from winter break, December 21st through January 2nd. Christmas holiday, 23rd through 26th. So district office is closed. So administrators get a little break as well.
How much? Yes.
Is this in there twice or something?
It's at the bottom.
November 29th, the strategic planning meeting?
It just go up.
Okay, all right, I didn't know if it's that date should have been December, and I'm like, I thought we weren't doing anything. Okay, so it is November 29th, so it is goes up there, okay, I'm sorry. Yes,
May I interject for a moment? Do you want to speak to the joint meeting that Tyler is holding for elections, which is that same night, November 29th at 6 o'clock? Do you want to speak to that at all?
okay,
Or I can speak to it on your behalf? or-
okay, well, okay, so The strategic planning, the pre-strategic planning meeting is something totally different, but also that night is going to be for anyone that is running for public office. And you need, you know, you can go to that meeting to find out exactly what you need to do in order to be able to get your name on the ballot. And kind of what the process itself is. Like for our school district, so now you have till December 31st to submit your name and paperwork to say that you would like to run. Incumbents, like myself and Ms. Robinson, we'd have to have ours in by December 23rd, I think.
Yeah.
To say that we would, that we were gonna rerun, we'll run again for office. And so anything for the school district and or for the village, that meeting with Tyler, it would be a real good one, especially if you've never ran for office before, or, you know, want to know more about the process itself and the systems. Then I would suggest that you would go to that meeting, community members.
It starts at 6 o'clock. It is virtual and it starts at 6.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
And where can you find the website or the link to the meeting?
It should be in the village newsletter, the village update. That should be coming through.
Email us, Friday.
Yeah.
So that's on the 29th.
They're both on the 29th.
No, I know. Just wondering, will the strategic planning pre-meeting run into that?
Potentially, and that's why that's why I'm bringing it up. So I'll join the 6 o'clock meeting as soon as we're finished with the virtual strategic pre-planning.
And for what it's worth, you all got one of these, I think. So it would, you know, probably. You all kind of know that they did not get this, not even.
They haven't gotten it yet.
They haven't gotten it yet.
No.
Oh, okay.
The clerk gets it.
Clerk gets it.
Oh, 'cause I got it. Oh, yes, the clerk got it. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, the clerk gets all of the info.
I will bring this to the meeting, so if you want to peruse it, it's right here. Just for your. Yeah, this is the election schedule. This is, if you are, particularly if you are a candidate,
Oh my God, where are you bringing it to?
just bringing it here with.
Oh,
Your ready reference. Yep. This is
Yeah,
on the
and it should be on the
website.
Wise Meeting website as well
Yes,
too.
it definitely is. I did see the link in our live community.
Is it December 1st, the parent safety, the safety meeting? And what time?
Question.
And what time should we do that?
Okay,
Okay. All right.
All right. Okay, and then our last piece is January 2nd will be the first day of the new year for students to come back. All right, and that is our board planning calendar. Anybody have any other questions or updates or information they'd like to share?
What time is that parent meeting?
December 1st.
That's my birthday. Okay.
Is that why you asked?
No, it's already good.
A nice selfless plug real quick, you know.
She wants you to circulate that agenda for having a meeting.
And put with you, make it work. Okay.
Are you registered anywhere? What you got?
5:30 to 6:30.
So I couldn't hear from the extra chatter. Where is the meeting on the first?
So the December 1st meeting is for middle high school parents. It will take place in the MAC. Or on the flyer, it says Multicultural Arts Center, otherwise known as the MAC at the high school. 5:30 to 6:30. The elementary school session will take place on Thursday, December 8th. From 5:30 to 6:30 and at the Brown Deer Elementary School in the cafeteria.
Ms. Brown, Dr. Brown, I'm sorry. Could you do a favor? Could you send us out the board a reminder for like the December 1st meeting off, you know, for those and the times and where they're at? So then that way, you know, because everybody understands, everybody knows there's certain meetings that are going on. All right, anybody want to share any updates or any good news and well wishes for Thanksgiving?
I have the best news that I've been sharing with everyone. I am now a great auntie, so I have been enjoying my time with the baby love. So yeah, it's
Congrats.
Thank you.
I thought you said you were going to get ready to get married or whatever. I was like, we about to go eat and drink off her for free.
No, you'd be paying for that, Todd.
always gotta go to the pocket. All right, everybody. All right. You know you said that with your outside voice, right? Okay, I hear you. All right, so would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much, Ms. Smith. A motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second, Dr. Vito.
Thank you very much, Ms. Peterson. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor would raise hand and or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, I call this meeting adjourned at 7:00 p.m. Everyone have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Eat too much, drink too much, laugh too much, love too much during this time. And enjoy yourself. Be safe. All right.
Thank you. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.